What's up, folks? Today, we're going to get ready to play some Last Days, and the first step in that goal is building our crew. So we're going to flip to the crew setup page, where our very first thing that we need to pick is our leader. So your leader will sometimes have preferences, things that set up the kind of people that they surround themselves with and like to have around them and that they're willing to deal with. There are three main keywords: selfless, selfish, and trained, and that will set the tone for the overall composition of the group, as some characters have the selfless keyword, some characters have the selfish, and some have the trained. For my purposes, I'm going with the everyday hero, who I will name Sophia. When we go in and look at them, we have a stat line, which has their AP, their close quarters, their firearms, their strength, their endurance, their damage capacity, their courage, and their intelligence. They will also have the leader special rule, and the skills that they can learn from are leader, firearms, close quarter combat, and academic for her. For the selfish one, it's those first three, but then athletic. And then the everyday hero has no group preferences, but if we go down and we look at like the Merciless Thug, for example, it'll say that a group led by this character may increase the number of neutral models it may hire to 75% of the total group, but they may not hire a good Samaritan, cop, SWAT, or kid. Now that 75%, we'll talk about in just a second why that's relevant. And here we have Sophia with her stat line copied over. The next step on our journey is to choose a refuge. Each refuge will have some built-in perks. It will dictate your maximum group size and will give you the number of empty spaces, which are spots that you can use to build on other perks. I'm going to go with the farmhouse for my refuge. So I'll have a max group of 8, 6 empty spots to fill, and a fenced-off garden that is attached already on the property. Next, we come to assembling the rest of the party. So any number of characters can have the same keyword. So my hero, my leader, has the selfless keyword, so I can recruit as many other selfless survivors as I would like. Up to half of your crew can be characters with the neutral keyword. And then only 25% or less of the models in your group may have a different keyword than your leader, because their opposing viewpoints cause them to get in some arguments and just not really get along all the time. And when we look at these, you'll have types. So we got cops, a cop who is trained, that are the trained type, cronies who are the selfish type, dogs, which are neutral, which dogs should be the selfless type. I don't know that I fully agree with that. And each of those costs X number of scavenge points, so 9 for a cop, 3 for a crony, 9 for a dog, etc. And you just go through, you have 100 points, 100 scavenge points is what you start with, to fill up your party, as well as to equip your party. So everybody must have at least one weapon to defend themselves with. You can carry up to 2 firearms and 2 close quarter weapons. When you recruit a new character is the only time that you get to freely pick what they have. Anything else that they get will be something that they found through the course of scavenging and fighting and running and fleeing. So for my team of ragtag survivors with the selfless keyword, I've taken Rose. Oh, just toss her around. Rose as the Good Samaritan. I've taken Blanche. Nope, she's a neutral because she's a survivor. I've taken Ray as a farmer. And I've taken Hank here as a rescue worker / World War II reenactor. In my neutral slots, I have Blanche as a survivor, just generic survivor. And I have Tabitha as just a generic survivor. And of course, since we didn't show her at the beginning, there is Sophia, my good Samaritan, or no, my everyday, oh Lord, words. Sophia, my selfless, everyday hero. Now that we've got the group needs some gear. So whatever's left over from getting your people, you have to equip them with. Some weapons have a rarity. So like you can only have 2 of these surplus SMGs or military SMGs or whatever. With those, you can only have up to that number in the group starting out. Now you could find one later, and then that number you could have more than that number, but you can't equip people with more than that number out of the gate. With the exception of if you have a trained leader, then anything with a rarity is changed to dash, but they must be equipped with something that has an asterisk, which are the more powerful weapons to represent that leader's knowledge and access to that type of heavy metal. So with the money, I didn't have a whole lot left over, so I had to be a little bit frugal, I guess you would say. So Sophia has a revolver. Dorothy has a rifle. Oh, I forgot Dorothy. Dorothy is a soldier, so she represents up to that 25% that can be with a different keyword because she is trained. So she has a rifle. Rose has an assault rifle. Blanche has an SMG. Tabitha has a revolver and a heavy blade. And Ray has a club and a revolver. Blanche also has a knife. Rose has a knife. Dorothy has a knife. And Hank has a semi-automatic pistol and medical supplies, but no knife. Nothing to lobotomize the zombies with. Now, I suggest writing out your stat lines like this. Obviously, if you have cards, you can do it that way. Or just print the table off, just where you can quickly get to it, because there can be a lot of time lost flipping to that chart with all the weapon stats. Until, of course, you just eventually you play the game enough, you just internalize those numbers and you just know what everything does. But it's nice to have it written down all in one place to begin with. And at that point, you're ready to go kill some zombies and some other survivors if the mood strikes you to do so. There is a battle scribe entry for this game repository, and from everything that I've seen, it seems pretty accurate, and it has the full-on thing for being able to like adjust things through a campaign. I still want it written down, but I use the battle scribe to do all the math and the numbers for me and the adding things up while I piece stuff together, and then I just wrote down everything onto my sheets. It's just easier for me to do it that way. Some people like flipping through the book and digging through the numbers, and that's fine. If that's how you get your fun and that you enjoy that aspect of the hobby, by all means do it that way. But for those of you looking for a shortcut, it does exist. And with this, we're ready to get into the game. So this is a short little quickie for y'all out there. Thanks for tuning in, stopping by while we built a crew for Last Days. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. And as always, I'd like to say a big, huge, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to our patrons who support us and pledge to us over on Patreon. You guys are the absolute best. If you enjoyed the content you saw here today and that's something that you would like to consider doing to help out the channel, go over there, check out the link in the description, check out the Patreon. There's a lot of cool stuff over there, including access to our Discord server, talk to me, hang out with me, talk about our work, what we got going on in the hobby, some shout outs, all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out if that's something that you think you would be into. And regardless of whether or not you do that, I want you to know that I am incredibly grateful that you decided to stop by and spend part of your day with me today, rolling dice and pushing toy soldiers around. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, may the dice be ever in your favor.